Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper and today we're going to talk about a sunscreen. We are going to talk about this sunscreen from Garnier, so Ambre Solaire, this one here, and you might have seen it in the grocery store. They are usually places where you buy these ones here because they are not that expensive. So I picked this one up the other day when I was out shopping, and I have tried it, so I thought I would tell you about it. So this is a Protection Lotion 24-hour hydration, and does it hydrate? Well, there is shea butter in it, and they say on the front, enriched with sustainably sourced shea butter, so that's all good. But shea butter can be a little bit on the greasy side, I would say. So it is in there to lock in moisture. So it is an SPF 30, so it is obviously not an SPF of 50. So it is kind of like protect your skin against 97% of the sun's rays, where SPF 50 protects you against the sun rays with about 98. So not that much of a difference, but a lot more filters in it, I would say. Anyway, this one here is advanced UVA. It's UVA in a circle. It says it down here, so that means that Garnier, they have tested that it is at least a third of the stated SPF, or the UVA is at least equal to a third of the stated SPF, which is the UVB. So it is a non-greasy moisturizer or sunscreen, because this is kind of like both a moisturizer and a sunscreen, I would say. If you are using this one here, I would say don't use too much moisturizer underneath. So it is a non-greasy, or that is what they say. So when we test it in a moment, we will see how greasy is it, or is it actually non-greasy. So I saw it on the shop, on the shelves in the shop, and non-greasy. I thought I'm gonna try that one, because I'm always looking out for something that is non-greasy and which is as cheap as possible, really. But usually I would say cheap sunscreens, there can be good ones, but usually they are kind of like they lack this sort of extra finish that makes them really like non-greasy and nice to wear. Actually, there will be some that are really good. I just haven't found them yet, so I thought maybe this one this time I was lucky. So it says a travel size. It is for the face and body, so it is meant to be used on the face. So when you look at the back, it says UVA, and it has 3 stars. And what that means is that the UVA is far from being equal to the UVB or the SPF. So when the SPF is 30, then maybe we are here just having barely a third of that. UVA be barely kind of like equal to a third of that, and maybe most likely not more than that. So definitely they are not equal, because then it would have had 5 stars. So when you open this one here, you kind of like, you need to shake it up, because this is a chemical sunscreen, but there is titanium dioxide in it as well. So you need to shake it up to make sure that that is kind of like distributed well enough. So normally when you have a physical sunscreen, you will kind of like get white in your face, and here you kind of like we can have a look later. But I will say that it does give a sort of whitish cast. So if you take kind of like that, and kind of like half a teaspoon, and just take half of it and put it on this side here, take that half off. The first thing you notice when you are taking this on here is the smell, because it smells like a really cheap sort of raspberry, strawberry sort of candy bar thing. Like it really smells very sweet, and I would say that sort of a perfume lingers, and even that sometimes when you have a perfume on, you can't kind of like smell it after a little while, but I would say that though you might not be able to smell it after a little while, I'm pretty sure that other people will. And I would say because usually when I test sunscreens, it's more like for everyday use. That's kind of like the basic of why I'm testing them, because if you're using something on the beach, well, maybe you would have something that is a bit more cheap, and then you wouldn't mind if it's greasy or not, because you're out in the open anyway, and you're going to the water and stuff like that. But on a daily basis, you would like to have something that is not greasy. So here we are having something that has quite a strong smell, and it might be fun when you are on the beach, when you are waiting in the ice cream queue or something like that. So does it go into the beard? Well, if you have a little bit of beard going on, which I had the other days when I was trying it out, then it will kind of like leave a white tint or something like in your beard. So yeah, and if you look at it now, you can see it needs to be worked more into the skin, I know. So we will work it in a little bit more. But I will say, I just put some on my eyelids as well, because that's what I normally do. This did not annoy my eyes at all, and I did have it on the whole day. So I will say, when you look at it now, you can see there is a difference. I'm pretty sure you can see it's much more white on this side than on that side there. And if I work it in a bit more, it will go away, and a little bit, because it will not completely go away. I think if you have a darker skin than I have, then I'm pretty sure it will be much more visible than on my skin. And even on my skin, it is visible. This is not a mineral sunscreen as such, but there is, as I said, some minerals in it. So there is a little bit of titanium dioxide in it. If it had been a pure physical sunscreen, there would be a whole lot more in it, and that would really be noticeable. But I would say with that little bit in here, it still is noticeable. But I would say it did not annoy my eyes at all. And it was rather sunny the other day, yesterday and the day before here in England. It has actually been quite a really good weekend weather-wise. So I was out there and had this stuff on, and you had sunglasses on and so on like that. But then usually I don't really have sunglasses on that much because you get kind of like tired of having it on. So usually I will be blinking a lot with my eyes and all that sort of stuff, and that will really make all that sort of stuff move around. But I would say it kind of like, it felt like it was staying put, or it did not go into my eyes, so it did not annoy my eyes. But what sort of filters are there in this product here? Well, there is a titanium dioxide in it, as I have just said, but there is also a concoction of various other sunscreens in here. And this product here is something that you cannot get in America because of the FDA. So in here there is a lot of these modern UV filters. So you have the classic one, which is not a modern one, but that is a avobenzone, and then that is for UVA. And then you have a whole lot of other sunscreens in here, which are also for UVA, but they're also there to stabilize the avobenzone, because the avobenzone doesn't last that long. So with the newer ones, they last much longer. So there is a whole lot of there is actually octocrylene in here, and that is not really that good for the environment. So apart from all the other modern ones in here, I would say you have the titanium dioxide, and that is usually something that is kind of like used when you would like to do something with blue light and so on. So I would say this concoction in here, you can see the long ingredients list here. There is an awful lot of sun filters in here. So as I've said in other videos, it might be that you see on the list that there are some of these modern filters in it. But if they are way down the list, maybe there isn't that much of them in there. So I would say this is basically avobenzone, and then it is octocrylene, and then some of the modern ones further down. So the point here is that I would say SPF 30, that I would say is normally good, but as we only have 3 stars, as it says on the back here, then for UVA I would say maybe it's not that great. But it didn't annoy my eyes, and I would say always when you put it on straight away, it's kind of like greasy. And I was a little bit worried when I used it the other day that it would kind of like be greasy all day long. But then I would say that it did go a little bit less greasy. But definitely this is not something like something from La Roche-Posay that really is like non-greasy. I would say compared to that, then this one here, I would say it's greasy. But this is obviously just it's a cheap version, so you maybe can't really expect the world. So maybe for another company like Aven, they would, I would say, do some that are a little bit more expensive. And I have this big one here, and we are going to make a review on that one when I have tried this on for a couple of days, and I've heard back from Aven, which I have actually contacted about some questions. So yes. As such, I would say if you are on the beach and you can bear the perfume in here, well, it's a cheap option. But for everyday use, I would say it's a no from here. So if you would like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe to the bell and do all those things you must do and also be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.